What's up guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be going over what Battlefront 3 needs to do differently to be a great Star Wars game. Before we jump into the video, please don't judge me on my stutters in this video. I do stutter a lot, especially in videos. Anyway, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like if you do like this kind of content. And yeah, let's just jump right into what Battlefront 3 needs to do differently to be a great Star Wars game. If EA wants Battlefront 2's sequel to be a better Star Wars game, developer DICE should consider improving these elements for Battlefront 3. Star Wars Battlefront 2 has improved much since its loot box filled launch in 2017, but there are still plenty of areas EA and DICE would need to change to make a potential Battlefront 3 sequel a better Star Wars game. Even before Battlefront 2 released, the game's pay-to-win loot box based upgrades were so reviled that EA was forced to change Battlefront 2's progression system. After making those changes, however, it would still cost players either 4,528 hours or $2,100 to unlock all content in the game, and backlash to this fact caused EA to simply turn off all of Battlefront 2's in-game purchases at launch. With the pay-to-win issue shelved, it looked like Battlefront 2 could turn out well, but that didn't solve its most critical flaws. Battlefront 2 was a bad video game when it released, with broken progression, a lackluster story, shallow gameplay, and a limited suite of modes and gameplay features. It's now 2 years later and Battlefront 2 is a drastically different game though. DICE has continued to make changes to its gameplay and systems, adding lots of new content along the way, including some of the basics it was missing at release. Battlefront 2's loot boxes can't be purchased with real money and only reward cosmetic items. Free updates have added new heroes, a Battlefield-like squad system, new maps and new modes. In 2020, Battlefront 2 is a generally more well-rounded experience with plenty of content for players to enjoy at no extra cost. Recently, EA celebrated how far the game has come with the Battlefront 2 Celebration Edition, which gives players access to the game and almost every so far released hero and trooper skin, normally obtained through free crates or direct microtransaction purchases for £40. The question now is how the Battlefront series will continue to evolve from here. Last fall, EA said that Battlefront 3 was not in development, suggesting that the company has plans to continue adding content to Battlefront 2. But with the amount of effort DICE has put into improving the game, not to mention how lucrative Star Wars games have the potential to be, it would be foolish to assume another game won't eventually be released. If DICE and EA want Battlefront 3 to be the best Star Wars game possible, they should consider improving these key areas beyond their current state in Battlefront 2. This will mean that Battlefront 3 will need a streamlined progression system. Since loot boxes can't be bought and only contain cosmetic items, they feel like an odd system, stuck to the game despite no longer being relevant. They should be cut from Battlefront 3 entirely, and the same can be said for the game's ability granting star cards. After Battlefront 2 progression overhaul in early 2018, star cards no longer come from loot boxes, instead being unlocked and upgraded as players earn points for playing as a particular class. Without the pay-to-win system that encouraged players to spend money in order to obtain random ability card drops, star cards don't really have a place. Unlocking star cards on level ups, purchasing and upgrading them with points, and then choosing only 3 of them to equip isn't a good system. Battlefront 3 should let players equip gear, not cards. Abilities like the acid launcher and ion turret should be turned into tangible items that players upgrade rather than arcadey cards that they level up. Battlefront 3 will need to go bigger. Battlefront 2's biggest modes, Galactic Assault and Capital Supremacy, max out 40 players, pitting teams of 20 against each other. In a game meant to provide Star Wars versions of the large-scale battles found in DICE's Battlefield franchise, this isn't a very large number. The latest Battlefield game, Battlefield 5, maxes out at 64 players in teams of 32. An extra 32 players per team would do much to help Battlefront 3 better capture the feeling of epic, Attack of the Clones-like large-scale battles. Then again, Battlefield has been stuck at 64 players for nearly 2 decades, while Battle Royales support 100. But it's not just more players that Battlefront 3 needs, it's more variety and customization too. The appeal of Pandemic Studios' original early 2000s Battlefront games was the potential to set up any fantastical Star Wars battle a player can imagine. A player wants to see Star Wars Clone Wars era droid army fighting off clone troopers on the Empire's Death Star. It was possible. But in 2017's Battlefront 2, most modes are locked to particular eras and maps. Co-op mode, for example, can only be played in the Clone Wars and New Republic areas. which also restricts its map selection to planets associated with those time periods. These rigid rules mean lots of Star Wars goodness, and lots of Battlefront 2's detailed maps and skins won't ever be by players who prefer certain modes. Additionally, an oft-requested feature for Battlefront 2 is map voting before online matches, which Battlefront 3 should absolutely add. Battlefront 3 needs a better campaign. In the time leading up to its launch, EA teased a Battlefront 2 single-player story that would show the aftermath of the Empire's defeat at the end of Return of the Jedi, all from the perspective of an elite Imperial squad commander. It was an intriguing promise from EA Motive, the dev studio tasked with the campaign, especially given the original DICE Battlefront's complete lack of a story campaign, but it ended up being entirely underwhelming. Rather than an interesting, substantive look at a largely unknown era of Star Wars history, the campaign felt more like a sightseeing tour or a Disney park ride, simply visiting famous Star Wars characters and locals with flimsy connective tissue and nonsensical plot. It couldn't even keep the promise of playing Imperials and experiencing their slide. I hope you guys did enjoy this video about a few things Battlefront 3 needs to do to be better. If you do agree with me, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.